Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to our class. Today, in our subject Trends, Networks, and Critical Thinking in the 21st Century, I'm going to present to you a very interesting topic and I hope that you will all cooperate with me. This chapter or module is entitled Identifying Connections, Relationships, and Networks. For this morning, we shall have these objectives. Number one objective, of course, is the students are expected to understand the importance of connections, relationships, and networks to people. Number two, to illustrate and understand the neural networks. And number three, to compare and contrast the neural networks to social networks. But before that, I would like to give you a pre-test. I hope that you are going to answer this correctly. These are very easy. I know that you have learned it from your previous science subjects. Okay? So for number one, okay, so the adult human brain weighs about, is it A, 3 pounds, B, 2 pounds, C, 5 pounds, and 4, 6 pounds? Correct answer is, I hope that you're going to check. What letter is it? That's letter B, 2 pounds. On the average, the human brain of males are generally heavier than that of the female. Okay, so that explains the biological explanation why men are predisposed to be more intelligent than women. Okay, and for number two, the nerve cells are also known as A, are they known as nephron, B, neurons, C, ganglia, and D, brain stem.
B, boy.
B, very good, neurons. That's why it is not correct to say nerve cells because nerves are cells, but not all cells are neurons. Okay? So just a trivia, what makes a neuron and what makes a cell? All neurons are cells, but not all cells are neurons. Okay? And then later on, we're going to find out what really is the importance of the nerves in the neural network. And number three, the largest part of the brain is A, is it cerebellum, B, is it the brainstem, C, is it the cerebrum, and D, the hypothalamus?
B, A.
Okay, so the correct answer is B, the cerebrum. If you are looking at the brain from the top view, you are looking at the entire cerebrum, dividing it by the corpus callosum, you have the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, right? And for number four, a group of people or organizations that are clearly or closely connected that work with each other to achieve connections for a purpose. So is it A, are they called internet? B, is it network? C, is it connection? And D, is it a relationship?
B.
B, very good, that's network. Okay? And are you enjoying so far?
No.
Number 5 is Facebook was created in the year. I hope all of you know this. A, is it in 2003? B, is it in 2004? And C, 2005. D, is it 2006?
B.
B, very good. That's in 2004. So all of you are all aware of this since the phenomenon of the Facebook. And number 6, a feeling of sadness, loss, or an interest, or a loss of interest and pleasure in daily lives. Is it A, joy, B, anger, C, fear, or D, depression?
D.
Very good, it's D. And I hope none of you are suffering from this. Number 7, a photograph taken by oneself using a cell phone. What do you call that? A, portrait, B, selfie, C, photo op, or D, groupie?
B.
B, obviously. Okay, very good. And number 8, this is the last number. I told you this is going to be quick. And number 8, what do you call a crime committed using the internet? Is it A, cyberbullying, B, cybercrime, C, cyber libel, or D, cyberspace?
B.
B, correct. It's a cybercrime. From the clue itself, what is a crime committed in the internet? Okay, so that's just a scratch on the surface. Let's go to the lesson. For the introduction, Our subject is social connection neural network. So, a network is a group of people or organizations that are closely connected working to achieve a purpose. So, if any one of you is connected to a group that is for the purpose of achieving a particular goal, and creating a network is significant for various reasons. For whatever reason you have, you need to be connected. You need to be connected to a group, and you might call it just a simple group or a network. Okay? Any questions so far? A network can also be formal or informal. The former involves structured meetings or processes, while the latter are the relationships that you develop to build over time with your colleagues in form of facts, gossips, or rumors about issues affecting your workplace. So we have a primary group and a secondary group. Of course, the primary group includes your family, your peer groups, your immediate family members, and the secondary group usually is your workplace. And all of us, we need to belong to both kinds of groups. Another very important thing, it provides exchange of knowledge and information. Would you be enjoying to work in a place where you are isolated or secluded? Hence, it stops the exchange of knowledge and information. Another important thing about this is that this manifests how learning and through images or linkages and connections work for individuals and organizations, especially in the advent of technology in the 21st century. So with the advent of all these technologies, they say that the world is becoming smaller. Not because you cannot go any further, but because anyone from the other countries you may have a direct connection, thus making the world smaller. And I hope a better place to live in. Having social connection can also help us get rid of anxiety and depression. The more problems you have, the more likely you suffer from anxiety. But if you have a good network, there is a big chance that you can avoid or get rid of anxiety, and eventually the worst is depression. Okay? So, let us have our short recap. So far, the key terms are network, connections, organizations. So which do you think of these three is the more basic word? Is it network, connections, or organizations?
Connection.
If you say connection, then that's very good, okay? But these connections, if you have established them better with more number of people, with more sophisticated purpose or goal, that's what you make a network, okay? But these all groups of people where you are connected and you have your interrelationships, you achieve whether it's a primary or a secondary group, then that is your organizations. So that is for the social connections. Let's have this short video, and I hope that you're going to scratch your surface again, or the surface of your cerebrum or cerebral cortex. Try to process what we have seen from the video. First question would be, what knowledge did you gain from the video? Did I hear somebody said it's similar to a network? Yes, no? Because the nervous system is defined as a complex communication network system in the body. It works on messages and the neural impulses received by each receptor before they get to the brain. All the impulses are already sorted out, all the informations are already processed before the brain sends the signal to the particular motor cells or motor neurons so our body can make the necessary reaction. Now, why does it have to be very quick? Because our purpose here is for survival. Any delay in the transmission of these nerve impulses to the brain would mean a matter of life and death. Can you mention some parts of the brain and the nervous system that were mentioned in the video?
Cerebellum.
The cerebellum, yes. What else?
Spinal cord.
The spinal bulb, and all the other parts of the brain. Okay? So the question would be, how do you relate this neural network to social networks or organizations? But let's go further because the video may not be enough. So let's have an understanding of the concept of the neural network. Our brain is an excellent illustration of a structural organization that is most essential in our survival. The brain alone is the proof that God really exists because no matter how bioscientists have explored, they have not really saturated the brain. And this alone is a proof that somebody more superior than human beings must be above all of us. Okay? As I said, it weighs an average of 2.2 pounds or more or less 1 kilo, and it's heavier among males than females. The nervous system is also divided into the central and the peripheral network. The central is the brain in the spinal cord, and the peripheral system includes all the other ganglia in the entire body. The brain's main parts are the cerebellum, and the brainstem. Okay? Further, what are these three main parts? The cerebellum, or the largest part of the brain, the left and the right hemisphere. It contains the four lobes. You have the frontal lobe here, which is important in speaking and sensation. You have the parietal lobe quite at the back of the frontal lobe, which is important for the sense of touch and all the other pressures that we feel. The occipital lobe at the bottom of the brain, which is sense of sight center, and the temporal lobe here, which is responsible for our auditory functions. Okay? Now let us go to the cerebellum. The cerebellum used to be known as the little brain. It has the most important function for coordination of muscle and movement. Okay? Now, what about the brainstem? The brainstem is the relay center that connects the cerebellum and the cerebellum. Important functions include breathing, heart rate, temperature, wake and sleep cycle, or sleep patterns, and other reflexes. Okay? Now, for our application, unless there are questions, I know that you understood it well. For our application, can you make an essay about how the nervous system works as a complex network? I'll give you 5 minutes for that. 3 to 5 sentences will do as long as the idea is already there. Very good. So, now that you have submitted your essays, let us check on your learning. Determine whether the statement is true or false. I only gave you 5 questions answerable by true or false. The first question is, the brain is heavier among females than males. What is your answer?
False.
False. Very good. 2, the nervous system is more of a communication system. True or false? True. Very good. Number 3, the brain works in isolation from the rest of the nervous system.
False.
False, because it really works as a complete network or system. Number 4, the neurons are the smallest unit in the nervous system.
True.
True, because the neuron is called the cell. Group of cells form a tissue. Group of tissues form an organ. Different organs form a system, and all of the systems form the entire human body. And the last number is, the connection in the nervous system is essential for survival. True or false? True. Very good. So far, how many have gathered correct, perfect score? Very good. Okay. For your assignment, I would like you to research on the different social networking sites. I'm sure you can already answer this, if only for now, and enumerate some of its advantages and disadvantages to you as young adults. Is that understood? Submission can be through our GC or through your personal messenger. With that, I would like to thank you. If you have any questions, you can address it to me. If you cannot process it yet, you can send me through Bani Casamina on FB or casaminabani@gmail.com. Thank you very much.